this is the demand, these are the demands of people who are going to retire and people who are already retired. So why do you put a bar on a particular people to enjoy certain benefits? So it is not the fault of the president. And that is what the Minister of Defense is trying to correct right now.
Okay. Because
what happened was that the eggheads at that time, surprisingly, put a caveat around certain categories of officers.
Oh, wow.
Okay, so this is not the fault of the president. It is not the fault of the Minister of Defense. It is the fault of defense secretaries.
Glad to have you back. If you just joined us, this is The Conversation. We are reaching you from Captain's Television Studio here in the nation's capital, Abuja. Like I said, I will introduce my next guest. He is Air Vice Marshal Monday Riku Morgan, retired. He is the former Chief of Defense Intelligence, Nigerian Armed Forces. Yeah, welcome to the show, sir.
Thank you very much.
Great to have you.
Thank you.
Should we say happy Armed Forces Remembrance Day to you?
Thank you very much.
Great. All right, now let's start by let's talk about the Nigerian military officers, as not too many people understand what it takes to wear that camouflage or fit in those boats and actually be right there at the battlefront or the war front, right there at the devil's feet. So walk us through on your own experience. How was it like?
Okay, thank you very much. Today is a wonderful day for this kind of remembrance. A typical soldier left his family and decided that he should be one of the foot soldiers to defend the territory of a country. And that is a very serious decision for a young person. That when the chips are down, you will be one of the men in the society to give succor to the entire citizenry by protecting the entire territory to make them have a better and safe dwelling. So it's a very serious decision. When most of us who became military officers growing up, we knew the challenge was an onerous one, and that if you were going to the military, you are going to face hardship, you are going to project your country in a way that you are an honorable man. So joining the military, most of us, especially the officer corps, we came in between the age of 16 to 18.
Oh, wow.
And at that period, that is the best stage for the youth to get indoctrinated for national interest.
Okay.
So we knew that when the time came, we were the one that was going to face the battle. We were going to face the bullet on behalf of the rest of Nigeria. So, and I think for me, I was trained a fighter pilot.
Okay. So
early in my life, I've been on several operations, especially outside this country. At the time of the huge insurgency in West Africa, in Sierra Leone and Liberia, some of us were sent to represent Nigeria in the ECOMOG peace enforcement war to ensure that Liberia and Sierra Leone survive. And we are a very few pockets from the air asset. And Nigeria had a wonderful military. The Navy, the Army. And you will be very proud to see that we had a wonderful synergy whereby you will have classmates, people you trained together initially in the military academy, and you saw yourself in the battlefield to project a name called Nigeria. And I think in the history of external operation of the armed forces, Nigeria presented itself as one of the best military at that time, between 1989 to 1996, because we extricated the Sierra Leoneans out of the jaws of insurgency. The same thing we did for Liberia, that they have peace today. So, in the battlefield, for the first time, we were taking airplanes to shoot, to kill people.
Okay.
Because you sat in the airport where the body bags of your classmates are being brought from the front. And you can imagine the madness that this was the guy you and him sat not just about a few days ago, preparatory to insertion into the battlefield. And 2 days after, you see him, a lifeless object. So we've done this, and it's a very serious activity and job for any human being. I'm a very proud officer that have contributed in that way.
Okay.
And outside these operations, we've been to United Nations operations. I have been part of a United Nations operation outside West Africa. And so many of us, we have sweated for other countries to ensure that peace was there. So we lost a lot of people. We lost people. Some people became disabled, mentally and physically, and some never survived. So those of us who went through this fire line and came out alive, we want to give glory to God. And that is why the essence of the Remembrance Day. Because the Remembrance Day, you can understand, was a product of the Commonwealth, the British colonialists, because some of our men, our great-grandparents, joined the war in the First World War. So it was a commemoration that was organized. They call it the Poppy Day, celebrated on 11 November.
November, yeah.
But then, at a later stage, when Nigeria was threatened of disintegration, and General Yakubu Gowon, a great general, and very young at that time, mobilized the whole of the youth in Nigeria that no, the Biafrans can separate because they are brothers. So a lot of people were made to join the military to ensure that that secession did not take place.
Okay.
And today, Nigeria became united after the liberation of the Biafrans in June. I mean, in January 15, and go on made that date because already we are independent and say, look, 15th of January should be remembered as a unification day for the progress of Nigeria.
All right.
And that is why we celebrate the Armed Forces Day on this day.
All right, quite a lot of things you said in just the space of few minutes or seconds. Now, with all these years, looking back at the surge or the burgeoning stage of insecurity in Nigeria, a lot of our gallant soldiers and men and fellow compatriots have actually gone down, had their lives cut short, like you talked about, or some either amputated or had physical injury or mental injury, like you talked about. You look at people like Tolulope Arotile, the recent ones, and then you talk about the former Chief of Army Staff, Lieutenant General Ibrahim Atahiro. You talk about so many people, Major General Hassan Ahmed. A lot of people have gone, too numerous to mention. So how much support, how much encouragement will you say that has been given to the families of these people all through the years? And how much has been done to those that have given their lives to serve their father's land, on whose back this nation is built, even until now?
Okay, You're not talking about the welfare of the veteran and the members of the armed forces entirely. Over the years, the armed forces of Nigeria have been having issues of welfare, and especially the veterans. But I think, to be fair to the present regime or the administration of President Muhammad Buhari, he has been very focused in trying to solve the problems. Because the structure to actually build a very robust welfare program for the veterans and even the serving soldiers is ongoing in the armed forces of Nigeria. Okay? It is not, it's ongoing, it's a highly, very dynamic thing. That you could remember about, let's say 10 years ago, when our members were always going to sleep on the, at the junctions or on the bridges in Abuja protesting.
But you have protests recently.
Yes, but that has gone off, because when the president came in, he ensured that a lot of things were put in place. Yes, the last protest that you saw was not the fault of the president. Because if, for example, if the president says, okay, look, give me the welfare needs of the armed forces and even the veterans, the workers in the system must do their work well. The president has so much job to do. So the guys in defense headquarters, why did they not put a proper memo to the president and say, this is the demand, these are the demands of people who are going to retire and people who are already retired? So why do you put a bar on a particular people to enjoy certain benefits? So it is not the fault of the president. And that is what the Minister of Defense is trying to correct right now.
Okay.
Because what happened was that the eggheads at that time, surprisingly, put a caveat around certain categories of officers.
Oh, wow.
Okay, so this is not the fault of the president. It is not the fault of the Minister of Defense. It is the fault of defense headquarters. But the current boys in the Ministry of Defense are definitely correcting those issues, because these are people who, like all of us who are battle tested, these are boys that are battle tested. And they understand the feelings of the serving soldier, they understand the feelings of the veteran. So as far as I'm concerned, General Magashi was with us in Ekomog. He fought the war with us. He understands the feelings of and people who are around him in the Ministry of Defense. General Jibril, who is a technical advisor, is also a combatant, a great officer. Like they will not mismanage whatever the president's idea thinking is all about. Okay.
So do you think that this will in any way dampen the morale of the serving officers?
No. When let me tell you something. When a soldier knows that when you retire, the country takes care of you, as he is fighting, he fights with a lot of courage.
Okay.
So as long as President Buhari is working tirelessly to ensure that the welfare of ex-servicemen and their families are being taken care of, it shows that it's an incentive for a soldier to go and get dug in and ensure that he does what is supposed to be done.
All right, great. So now I always refer to that popular phrase, the labor of our heroes past shall never be in vain. And this is attributed to those who fought, those who sweat blood and shed tears upon, like I always say, whose back what we now call our territorial integrity has been Nigeria is being built upon. Now, would you actually say that the labor of their love, the love and all, has it been put in vain?
You see, look, one of the things that I like to say here is that the big problem is that if you compare what Americans and the the United Kingdom or European countries are doing for their military. If you compare it to what is happening in Africa, and then go around and compare what is happening in Nigeria, we are a little bit better, Nigeria.
Oh, wow.
For within the environment of Africa.
Oh, okay.
Okay, or particularly West Africa.
Okay.
And I think all this boils down on the economy of each country. However, my advice to government is that why is it so difficult to copy the good things Americans are doing for their soldiers? The United Kingdom, where we copied from, are doing for their soldiers. Why is it not so in Nigeria? Because in America or in the United Kingdom, the soldier, the serving soldier, is waiting and working hard to attain a retirement age to enjoy benefits. Because the benefit is so huge, to such an extent that he would know that the sweat he put in the defense of his country was not in vain.
Okay.
And this is where I advise the federal government of Nigeria to do, because, and there must be some form of orientation. Like now, today is, we're celebrating the unknown soldier. It's a commemoration to say one man died that we be alive. Some people suffer that we sleep. All the departments keyed into this kind of orientation. What have different social organizations, non-governmental organizations, been doing for the widows? What are they doing about the children of the fallen soldier? In the UK, in America, a fallen soldier's children is not left alone. So also in the UK, in Europe. So those kind of things, I think the Veteran Affairs Department that the Defense Headquarters has created and is going through, or even within all the three services now, will be looking at those global best practices and infusing into our own system.
Okay.
I think that is the thing, that because, like I say, the boys that are in charge right now are our own offshoot, and our generation is a very forward-looking generation, because we believe in technology. We believe in we know that the world is now a global village.
Digital.
So we cannot be left alone.
All right, great. All right, so I'm going to ask you a very personal question. Now, with all that you have gone through during your service days as a military person, now you've seen it all.
Yeah.
You've been there, done that, from the experience compared to all that happened then and now. So would you actually allow any member of your family to go, or young one, to actually go enroll into the NDA or serve in the Nigerian military? Because these days you see that then the excitement that comes with when you get the recruitment, or maybe you get the admission into the NDA, that excitement is second to none, and everyone wants to be happy, everyone is happy about it. And then you have people, patriotic citizens like you, that we're ready to go through that humongous sacrifice for people, like you said, to have sound sleep and be sane. So would you actually say that these days that Nigerians, we still appreciate the work of the military soldiers, and will you allow someone around you to actually go through as a Nigerian soldier, or has it actually lost its luster?
No. My son is in the military, for example.
Okay.
He's a very young man, he's in the Navy. A lot of, you see, soldiering is in the blood. My dad was a soldier. And my senior brothers, who were even old enough to be my father, because my father was polygamous,
Okay.
joined the military during this Nigerian Civil War. They were very young.
So it's like a
So
baton.
it's a family issue, and the courage is not bought on the market. It is only people who are endowed with natural courage that have the instinct to join the military. The military is not for lily livers. It's for men of courage. And families, it's a kind of DNA in families. It's just like when you look at the anthill, the mother, the queen termite, is relaxed. A group of people are there hanging around her, but the ants are the foot soldiers. Okay, so it's something that is naturally endowed.
Okay.
So we don't want people that cannot face hardship to be in the armed forces of Nigeria. One thing that I like to say about orientation is that if you ask me today, I will try to prefer a solution to the insecurity that is going on in Nigeria. How does insecurity, especially insurgency, permeates? How does it permeate? Because you have some idle pools of unemployed youth who could easily be mopped up to be soldiers to protect the territory.
At their young age.
Yes, because look, we got a few things when General Gowon, after the Civil War, created the National Youth Service Corps. It was for integration. That time is past. What I expect Nigeria to be doing right now is to tweak the educational system to such an extent that between the age of 16 to 18, a young man has been indoctrinated into serving his nation. There are countries that do that. Uruguay, Paraguay, Israel. So you see a young man, anybody you see in Israel is a trained soldier. Not that he is trained and work as a soldier, but he is a trained soldier, and periodically he goes for retraining.
Okay.
So I believe that if we create a situation where the educational system ensures that by the age 16, the child is already done with secondary school, and there's a stop. He must go for national training, for reorientation, to study what national interest is, the protection of territory. And also that will involve military training and deployment to serve after a whole year of those orientation and training. The second year, he is deployed to paramilitary organizations and military organizations to serve. And thereafter, at the age of 18, when he finishes that service, he can go to the university. He now goes to university as a matured person with this huge orientation that I cannot be instrument to distort national security.
Okay, so we've actually heard that thing, reports some time ago where they said maybe they might indoctrinate it from the youth service, and then...
The youth service is too old. You cannot be indoctrinated at 22. There's a failure of parental upbringing today. So a lot of parents are not coaching their children. At the age of 16 to 18, if government takes that control and reorientate the children for national protection, for national interest, when the child goes to university at 18 or 19, he will not be attracted to cultism.
Okay.
He will not be attracted to, because he now knows that he's a Nigerian and proud Nigerian, and that his country is dependent on him.
When you say that, when the government takes up that mantle, should it be done by force?
It's not the first thing.
Okay.
Okay, by policy.
Oh, okay.
By policy. It's not a question. If you don't do it, there are repercussions that along the line, as you grow politically, you can be a leader in any department.
Oh, so there should be policies.
Yeah, it's a
set
policy.
aside.
It's not a coercive issue.
Okay.
It's a policy. And whether I would like it or not, no child, if you look at it carefully, education, what is education? You send a child to go to school. No human being wants to lose his freedom. Okay?
Okay.
And when you look at a child, if you allow a child to have total freedom, he will not go to school because he likes to sleep. But he likes to wake up and eat. But he must be coerced to go to school. So though coercive, there are mild issues and based on policy of a country.
All right. All right, even as we begin to round up now, so let's talk about the trainings that the military men actually go through and what kind of trainings they actually go through. Because now, when someone wears a camouflage or wears something that looks like a camouflage, and then military, civilians, and then you're being caught on the road, the kind of treatment that they give you, you will not even dare it in your life. So, and this actually affects or impact on the average Nigerian, their mentality of the average Nigerian soldier. So, is that part of the training? Is it within the ambit of the military and the armed forces law? And how can that be softened a little bit? Because some of these clothes might not be you deliberately wore the camouflage. It just looks like the color.
I know, but the truth of the matter is that certain, especially the rank and file, they might likely overstretch their bounds. Okay, in many occasions. However, because it is because of the security situation in Nigeria, by right, the military should be very far away from the civil population. Okay, but because of internal security challenges, you are seeing soldiers regularly. By right, they should be confined to the barracks far away.
So you should not be seeing them in the streets, or on the road.
Yes, and also the civilians should also know that certain uniform or certain encounterment are purely for military people, so they cannot just wear them. But where they wear them, the way and manner is handled is what you are talking about.
Exactly.
Okay. So there's always this issues that come up from time to time, but then the leadership of all the military, the Navy, Air Force, Army, will always know how to handle them. So the military is your friend. The military is your friend. The
military is your friend?
Yeah.
I like the way you say that.
Yeah.
All right, now even as we begin to run, what are your last words to Nigerians, to the serving soldiers, even as we commemorate this day, Armed Forces Remembrance Day?
Yes. The time has come that every child, the youth, should understand that this country is too big for an individual, and that certain people, by instinct, have decided to sacrifice their own comfort for the majority of Nigerians, and that the soldier is a man that should be respected, that the soldier is never an enemy, is a man that is so disciplined, is like a Spartan that will protect the walls of your environment.
Okay.
And let the youth have courage to join the military. Let the youth understand that there is something greater than money, which is honor. If you look at it carefully, most military officers are very proud people. But Nigeria must return some kind of kindness to the armed forces of Nigeria.
Okay.
Because in the US, they are prioritizing all the things that we do. When you go to a public place, the civilians come to approach you. Please go ahead of us. They announce flights. When flights are about to board, they humbly announce that service personnel should board first. Service personnel have rebates for tickets, for travels, for air journeys. Can Nigeria do that for members of the armed forces, serving and retired? Can we return a kind of reciprocity in terms of, say, you have served us, you deserve our respect? So on this note, I just want to encourage Nigerians to look at the military as a bunch of great men that have sacrificed their comfort for them, and that their children should be respected, the children of the fallen heroes should be respected, and that any organization, civil organizations, institutions should understand the task that these guys had to perform to protect them.
All right.
Thank you.
Thank you so much for your time with us. It's been a very wonderful time talking to you. We have been chatting with Air Vice Marshal Monday Riku Morgan. He retired. He is the former Chief of Defense Intelligence, Nigerian Armed Forces. It's been a wonderful time having this discussion with you.
Thank you very much.
Now, you've heard it all. I'm sure you must have been informed, educated, rightly educated, and entertained. Thank you so much for your time. Make sure you take our time to honor and respect even our fallen heroes and the serving officers. We all, from Kaftan TV, we honor you all, the fallen heroes, and we respect every of our serving heroes as soldiers. From this time on, I'll see you again next week, Tuesday evening at 8 p.m. Thank you so much for watching. I am Annabelle Oji. God bless Nigeria.